Howdy, 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 howdy. Welcome to the studio. So guys, I'm done. I was done, but apparently the phone went off, and I could not put the oil. So I have the nail oil here, and then this is nail care, flaggy care, yeah. After applying the Q-Tex nail polish, you apply the oil on top. So let's do it here. And I have my coffee with me. Coffee goes a long way. A long way. Let me put it very far because there's still a lot. So this is how you put the oil. Just put it on top. Just the same with the Q-Tex, the nail polish. I really need to get used to this nail polish and not Q-Tex. And then, funny thing, after applying the nail polish, don't joke. I was in the water. Just afterwards, after it dried, I was already in the kitchen. And so that's how you do it. And then you just rub it. So I was in the kitchen. It's not perfect, just like the, and then we are good to go. You see, we are good to go. And then let me get the lotion. I didn't want to use hand lotion, hand cream. I prefer this one. It's so soft. Yeah, now. And then mommy is good to go. Mommy is good to go. So that's how you do it. Guys, I promised you a story behind this t-shirt, yeah? But before we get there, I want us to talk about something. And by the way, how is the self-development, like the basic, taking you? Since the last time I've seen, 11 people have watched. How do you see it? How do you think? What do you think? What have you taken? What have you taken with you? And since we are in the self-development journey, I wanted to share with you this book. This is what I'm actually reading right now. And oh my God, I've been reading this book for a long time, and I borrowed it. And it's called The 33 Strategy of War, Robert Greene. 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene. I borrowed it. Haven't given it back. I don't know when I will give it back, but wow, oh my God, what do I say? We are in the self-development, so the best way to improve yourself is by reading. Reading, it also helps the mind. Reading helps the mind a lot. So just wanted to talk about some few things. I don't know if you would love, I can do a summary of it, or I review it. But reviewing this book, it will need you to tell me to review it. But I had two topics. First chapter and second chapter. That is what I'm going to talk about, because first of all, this book is for self-help, self-improvement, self-empowerment. And if the mind has to be strong for this book, because you see, it's war. And the reason of war is because the strategies that they are going back to the history and giving examples, or they're giving examples on how they won the war, and how those examples, they can relate to today's life, and how it can help you to today in fighting what you're fighting today and win it. Yeah. So like in the first topic, that is like declare war on your enemies. That is the first chapter. Oh my God, you know, I love history. I really love history. So whenever I was, I'm always into history checking, and I am telling you, everything, every history that I have read about, it's in this book. I was so surprised, like every knowledge that I know, everything that I know about history, what I have been reading, what I have been hearing, it's like everything is here. So, one minute. Napoleon War, Napoleon. By the way, me, I knew Machiavelli. I always knew Machiavelli with Tupac. I always thought Machiavelli is Tupac. But there is Machiavelli. There is really Machiavelli apart from Tupac. And Machiavelli is a philosopher. I didn't know that. Anyway, so, sorry. Declare war on your enemies. So I'm going to talk about only two things, yeah? And that is self-directed, yeah? This is self-directed. It really helps, yeah? And this first one is declare war on your enemies. Declare war on your enemies. And by this, it means the inner. You know, whenever we are talking about enemies, everyone is always thinking, enemies. You know, by the way, I was always like, how is it in this world everyone has enemies? In fact, in Instagram, everyone is just always enemies, haters. I was like, why is it that everyone just have enemies? But I came to realize the enemy who is talked about, it's not necessarily another person. It's the enemy inside. We all have enemies, yeah, inside. And these ones, the enemies inside are like anxiety, things that are like giving up, no motivation. Those are enemies. And that is inner enemy. The book also is saying like you learn how to spot the inner enemy. How are you going to spot? Like if you want to do something and then you find you're not motivated, that is already an enemy. You need to fight that enemy. Yeah? And the anxiety, the fear, you need to fight those. Those are your inner enemies. And then the outer enemy now, the outer enemy is anyone who is telling you you cannot do it. Or just anyone who is trying to cut you from what you want to achieve. Yeah? So that is the outer enemy, and you need to know the outer enemy. You need to know them in order for you to move. So that is the first strategy, and the key welfare to it for you to know. The key welfare is, you see, like the outer enemy. You need to know the outer enemy, and if you don't know the outer enemy, you need to put them in a test in a way that they don't know they're in a test, so that you yourself, you will know if they are your enemy or it's just your mind which is telling you. So those are the two things, inner enemy and outer enemy. Those ones you have to fight them. Also, it's also saying, you know, if you've already figured out who is your enemy, who is your opponent, yeah, you've already figured out. So that tells you you're already important. This is the key here. You don't have to let them know that they're your enemy or they're your opponent, yeah. So already tell yourself you're important. For me to have such people, then it means I'm important. And with this one now, you get the strategy to go. Yeah? Know your enemy. Figure out your enemies. Don't let them know that you know, and then move swiftly. The second one is do not fight the last war. Do not fight the last war. Learn